Live? Are we letting people in or live first? What's going on? Oh, never mind.
Put them in.
Start filtering them in. Okay.
We're live.
Sweet. Hello, world. I am your crazy host, CP Mays. Welcome to this month's or this year's special edition of Bottoms Up. The Bottoms Up Singapore, Ireland, we're a bunch of rock star edition. We're going to have a really good time. The poets are uber super impressive. Like, I know you're going to be moved by their work because I've been moved by their work. And I'm a former Marine. So yeah, that takes a lot. Like, I'm losing cool points if a poem can make me cry, right? So yeah, we're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time. The first poet that I'm going to bring up, no, before I even do that, I want to give a shout out to everyone who brought this thing together. This culmination of artists, it took a while. It took a lot of back and forth. It took poets coming together, showcasing their work in their own rights before they came here to do their things tonight. So after this, we're also going to have the normal Bottoms Up open mic. We're going to cap that list off. We'll let you know about that in the chat for the Bottoms Up people, normals that are coming in. So right now, what we're going to do is bring up the first poet. The first poet is someone whose imagery struck me as truly amazing. Yeah, I was truly blown away with your control of image. You're gonna fall in love with him. He's hoping the rain doesn't drown him out, but I think it's gonna be his backup band. Give it up for, and if I pronounce this wrong, correct me, Abet?
That's something. Yes, Abet.
Introduce yourself to the world, brother.
Good evening, Fox. I'm Abet Umil, from the Philippines. So, a teacher, writer, researcher. So that's it. I'm also in the band, no? So.
Word. Yeah, what did you have for us? Like I said, I was truly blown away by your work. Like, the floor is all yours.
Okay. Sincronicidad. Kapag hiniwa mo, naghihilom ng walang pila. Naaalala mo pa kaya ang ikalawang pagkakataon ng magkita tayo? Ipinagpatuloy natin ang talakayan sa ortografiya ng wikang Pilipino. Pati ang mga panghalip na personal at paari. Ihinalimbawa mo ang kita. Pagligtas, panahon ng nabaklas. We've been through a wormhole. Sinapawan ng bulalas mong iyan ang ilan lang ng ingay sa Glorieta. Sindami ng mga bituin ang kahulugan. Nag-aral tayo ng wika kahit na ito'y representasyon lamang at sinasabing hindi talagang wika ng katotohanan. Kung kailan ka tumigil sa pagsasalita, san sinukob mong balintataw, eternal ang bawat ngiti sa ating mukha. Dalawa kitang nagtagpo sa puok na di mararating ng wika kailanman. Hindi pa napadpad ang katawan ko sa lupalop na 4 ang panahon, subalit dun ka nagmula. May dalang pasalubong psikolohiyang mapaghilom na lunas ng sugat. Singgaan ng ngiti ang iyong haplos. Hinaplos mo ang sugat sa noo ko. Naghilom ng walang pilat. Hinaplos ko ang sugat sa dibdib mo. Naghilom ng walang pilat. Hinaplos natin ang sugat ng anino. Umalingaw-ngaw ang pagaspas. Magkadaop kapwa ang palad natin. Mga taon ilaw nagwat sa digdig. Naglakbay kitang lumagos sa bituin. Thank you.
I gotta say it again. Your imagery, like your use of language, brother, I respect on a high level.
Thanks.
What is it? I stroke the wound of on your chest, healed without a scar. We stroked the wound of the shadow, its flat echoed, our palms clasped together. Like that imagery is so awesome and I love it. In your bio, what do you do outside of poetry? I asked that question first. What do you do outside of poetry?
I teach in a polytechnic university. And I'm studying, finishing my MA. It's Araling Pilipino, meaning Philippine Studies. So aside from that, I also perform in a band. So that's it.
That was the setup question. Now let's get to the real one. Since you perform in the band, right? There's something the musicality of your poem, like in your native tongue, is it. I'm just from the States, and I thought it was gorgeous language, very beautiful. So like the sound, like being in the band, and the musicality that comes from a band. Like, do you find it easy to translate that musicality in your poem, the way it flows and it's in your native language? Does that make sense?
I also compose the music, so when I write lyrics, so mostly it's in a traditional form, so it's metered and it has rhyme, and I mostly our songs I compose some of them and then I give it to the group, and then we have a sort of workshop. But well, I think that's the process.
Yeah, that's it. It comes across like, and that's cool to be a rock star. Plus, you got glasses. Like, we are cool. We're kindred spirits. Like, we're gonna be close. Like, you, a rock star poet. You are a rock star poet. So, like, I appreciate your work. Let the people know what you got coming up.
I think we have supposedly a poetry reading last night, but it was postponed, so it will be moved to another date.
Okay, awesome. And where can we find you? Social media? Like, do you do that thing, or people just got to know you?
I'm only on Facebook, but from time to time I post my poems there.
All right, good to go. I appreciate you. Thank you for being a rock star poet. And the rain didn't drown us out, so we're good to go, right? All right, awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the poet. Yeah, thanks.
Right.
The next poet coming up. Let me make sure they're in the room. Bum, 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 bum. Did they show up? Did they show up? Did they show up? Did they show up? Okay. The next poet coming up. Ismet, are you good to go, super poet? Awesome. All right. So Ismet, brilliant, beautiful, bright smile. Let the people know where you're from, What you got going on? How long you've been doing this thing called poetry? And you're muted. Ha 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 ha. It wasn't me.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm from Egypt, Alexandria, and I've been writing poetry since 2019. I started it as a journey of self-healing and self-recognition, if I can say.
Oh, that's awesome. Um, yeah, what do you have for us? Yeah, let's start there.
Okay, I will read my poem in Arabic. أعري قلبي على ضفة الشاطئ وأنزلق بعمودي الفقري تحت الماء. كل ما أمامي زرقة مطلقة، السماء، البحر، وروحي المعلقة بينهما. عشت حياتي أبتعد من كل ما أظن أنني أملكه، من أرض لا تحتويني، ومن جسد يضيق على روحي. تعلقت بخيوط من ملح تجرني إلى ما وراء الشكل، إلى ما بعد الحدود. أصابع المحيط تشد أطرافي. أنا عالقة داخل هذا الجوع الأزرق، اشتياق لحرية، لشيء لا يلمس ولا يدرك، يحملني إلى ما هو أبعد مني، ومع ذلك ينساب من خلالي. أستسلم وأندمج مع التيار. الأفق يتسع وتتلاشى الأرض. لم يكن الحب الأزرق حقيقياً أبداً، ولم أرده يوماً أن يكون.
Awesome, 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 awesome. And the title of the poem again?
It's ha'ima, it means adrift.
Okay. So, like I said, I'm such a lover of language, right? And words and how they dance on paper, topography wise. All my life, I've pulled away from everything my hands could hold from the land beneath my feet. Like that, there's such a power, a world hear me roar, but I know there's something out there that's better than what I'm seeing all around me right now. Like your poems have this quiet storm passion, and I can appreciate it. And you said since 2019.
Yeah.
Were you an in the closet writer up until 2019, and that's when you just came out to the world as a poet, or like what's up?
Well, as a teenager, I used to write poetry in French, but I always kept it for myself. And then I stopped writing like for over a decade, and life started to happen. But then I lost my mom back in 2017, and this moved something in me. And even though I started writing again after her passing 2 years, as I said, I started it as a healing journey.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's you're you're a poster child for it. Like there's something like I'm begging you, world, I dare you not to show me something beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like you have this thing in your voice in the poem that I just love. Um, what do you have coming up? What's new in your world? Let the people know where they can find you, that kind of thing.
Well, they can find me. I have an Instagram page. It's called She Speaks Your Silence. That's my name. Um, I already published a book called Ocean 7. And right now I'm just writing. I don't have any coming plans.
Gotcha. Besides, being an awesome poet. So yeah. Uh, thank you for coming out. Your work is exciting. I can't lie. about poetry, like you could see the grin on my face. Like, I love your work. Like, the style is just super dope. Give it up for Ismet, ladies and gentlemen. Hands together, room goes wild. The next artist coming up, the next writer, the next poet, the next rock star, goes by the name of Sam Ofari. I have a feeling I messed that up again.
No, that was perfect.
Texas twang wins again. Sam, introduce yourself to the world. Tell us like your favorite color, what makes you tick, and then let's read a poem.
Hey, I'm Sam. I'm from Donegal in northwest of Ireland. I'm going to read a poem that has lots of colors in it because it's about the day I met my partner, which for context was while skinny dipping in the mountains in Donegal in October, which is very far to the north and very cold, but I was trying to impress him, so we did our best. Beautiful, beautiful forest full of lovely colors and absolutely Baltic freezing water. So yeah.
Super awesome.
So
yeah,
should I jump in?
Absolutely.
Cool. This poem is called Casu, which you could translate as turning, but in Irish also means to meet. Casu, the Gerd. Agus tusa, yeah noch san owen ru. Sheer hugger níl a neasa leis an gailir ó rua fault na cilliar lasú le dehana de ruige chionti tú farach bliana. Spare jal in glas lia de hule. Ba me an fia fi skev in jark shelliger a piasun crochu in mail madi rua. Chas an vlian a farasait. Hart an geil an lin. An chloch skirch sa terug a danig mo veel le de veelse, maar hitchen dillig rua chraking vio an iske. Jeru re agus toos. Good, thank you.
Ha! Before I don't even think I'm not gonna poke out that suave move to skinny dip like in October. Like that's yeah, that's smooth. Yeah. And you won. Yeah, you won in the end, so that's what's super dope about it. The colors, you mentioned that like off gate before you even read. The year turned on its axle. Round the wood, the pool, the sleek stone in the stream where my mouth met yours like a red leaf falling on the river's living skin. Oh, like that's so rom-com romantic comedy, like heart out on the open on my sleeve, like the river skin. Super dope. Super dope. Is nature your kick? Is nature your thing? Like what's your lane?
I'm really lucky to have grown up in a very beautiful place. We often get visitors to Donegal, which is a very rural area, being like, "Oh wow, do you know what you have here?" And it's like, "I know we do. There's things we don't have, but it's good to appreciate it." And for the past year and a half, I've been living in a city, and when I do go home, I really, really miss the mountains, the sea, the trees, all of it. It's I've been very privileged to grow up where I did.
Yeah.
So how can it not make it? How can it not make it into the poetry? You know?
Yeah, and you do it. You do it brilliantly. Yeah, my wife is from the country, and as soon as we moved to the city, to my hometown, she's like, "The leaves don't change when the seasons change." Like you miss like the very small stuff from hometown USA, and you bring it back in your work. So shout outs for keeping, you know what I'm saying, the country alive. So what you got going on? What you got going on? What's coming up?
Just writing away. I am working on a short story that will be published in September, and I can't really see beyond the horizon of that deadline as it looms closer and closer and closer. So that's what
short story title. What's the short story title?
It's called Busy, which doesn't give a whole lot away.
That's awesome. I feel like in the open mic, you know, if we're reading anywhere and we fumble over a line, you just do that distant stare like it's the deepest thing that you've ever said, but just don't talk. Like that's what your title is. Like it's one of those.
Very much, yeah. Just act like a sphinx and pretend to be profound. Like my cat is an idiot, but she looks so elegant that everyone thinks that she's clever, and I try to do the same.
That's awesome. Socials, or where can people find you?
Best thing to do is just to Google Sam O'Farry. You'll find the stuff that's on. I have some spoken word stuff on YouTube. I have some stuff that's published that's free to see online. My socials are more for me at this stage. I'm at that age now where having them at all is a bad idea, so I just have them for myself.
Gotcha. I appreciate you, brother. Your work. Don't let the pen stop moving. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
All right, cool. Give it up, give it up, give it up for Sam one more time, ladies and gentlemen. The room goes crazy, wild. The next writer coming up, or artist coming up, is gonna blow you away. During Tech Check, I got a chance to get a preview of what's to come. I'm sure you're gonna enjoy it the way I did. The next artist coming up goes by the name of Karen Melander Magoon. What's going on, Karen?
Oh my goodness, it's me already. Okay, hi.
Yeah.
Hi everybody. Wonderful to be here. Thank you so much, Lacan, for inviting me. And what a wonderful array of poets. And I like so much. Do I call you CP? What do I call you anyway?
Yeah, CP works. CP works.
You're directing us to the imagery of these poets. And even languages I don't understand, I appreciate later on you're mentioning this or that because the imagery is beautiful, like the leaf floating down in the stream and a kiss. I mean, it's just gorgeous. So
Yeah.
I'm going to start with something I didn't write, and this is Urlicht because I have everything was supposed to be in German. Here I am speaking English. Um, but Urlicht in the Second Symphony of Mahler has always moved me so much. And so I'm going to sing that for you. And it's also the Knabenwunderhorn, but this is in the Second Symphony, you hear the mezzo singing Urlicht, and then later you have the symphony, and then you have the chorus at the end, and it just transports you to the idea of it says it's such a painful world, I want to be in heaven, and it's just the way it's written, it's very moving. So O Röschen ruht, der Mensch liegt in größter Not. Der Mensch liegt in größter Pein. Die Liebe mächtig im Himmel sein. Da kam ich auf einen breiten Weg, da kam ein Engelein und wollte mich abweisen. Ach nein, ich will mich nicht abweisen. Ach nein, ich ließ mich nicht abweisen. Ich bin von Gott und will wieder zu Gott, der liebe Gott, der liebe Gott wird mir ein Lichtchen geben, wird leuchten mir bis in das ewig selig Leben. So that's Urlicht, which I hope many of you have or will hear in the Second Symphony. The movement is just so gorgeous. So here are some. I know I had to say German poems, I spent 20 years in German-speaking lands, German-speaking countries, but that was a little bit ago. And so Thursday I wrote some German poems for you. Der Mond schleicht langsam. Der Mond schleicht langsam hinter ihrem dunklen Schleier, voll und brillant, jetzt verborgen, wie die ganze Welt liegt unter Lügen und leeren Worten, liegt unter der Grausamkeit von Menschheit gegen Menschheit. Unser schöner Mond weint und verbirgt sich hinter den dunklen Wolken der Nacht. And here is, ich muss lachen. Ich muss lachen, weil die Welt der Menschen so unmenschlich bleibt, dass meine Tränen nicht ausreichen und gestillt werden müssen mit unerwünschtem Lachen. And the last poem. Der Himmel droht einen verregneten Tag. Der Himmel droht einen verregneten Tag, bleibt aber still und weiß über einer nebelvernassten Straße, wo Tauben wandern in der Suche nach trockenen Ecken. Danke.
Oh my, thank you. I like first I got social issues. I find like things hilarious that everybody else might not find. So like I enjoy one. I think it's super amazing and it shows the character of an artist to cover someone else's work. You know, like you could take the time out to try to shine yourself, but you also take the time out to say, you know what, let me let somebody else shine because I enjoy them as an artist. 2 thumbs up, you rock star. 2, I love the way you hit these beautiful notes and then come back to your regular speaking voice like you didn't do anything pretty special. Like I enjoyed how you did that. That's rock star too. Your stylistics. What is there a box that you can put yourself in that you feel comfortable as a writer, or is there no box? Is the world your oyster? You know, cliche.
I can speak English, it's okay. I love the world. I love even that COVID brought us into Zoom, and I see all these little squares there. And no, I even wrote a poem once called "The World." It's also a song, but anyway, the world is full of boxes, and I make all these little boxes, and I describe all of them, and then I say, I want a world without boxes. So that's maybe kind of a funny answer to your question.
And ladies and gentlemen, we didn't have this box thing figured out before we started talking. It just kind of fell in line. Your musical background, you mentioned jazz. To sing what you opened up with, and then jazz. Like, how did we get to jazz? Like, how did we get to jazz?
That's funny. My brother is a wonderful jazz musician. I mean, he's going to be 84 this week. He turned 84. So we're an old family. But when I started really singing seriously when I was 13, I started doing, as I said, Schubert and Bach and Brahms and all that. But at the same time, I was singing jazz with my brother and singing out in Stockton. Um, I was and I loved it. So I probably have, I don't know, a huge repertoire of standards that I still do a little bit. But I was singing jazz for a long time. And when I was in Germany, I remember singing jazz in Vienna at the Hilton. At the same time, I was singing at Theater am Naschmarkt in Vienna. So uh, it's yeah, I love the world and I love jazz and I love this crossover of jazz and classical and opera, and it's a beautiful world, and I feel
Let,
very grateful to have been able to sit in that world in music.
Yeah, like hello world. Let me translate that into normal person speak. Uh, she was literally in a city doing like these beautiful classical renditions and jazz. Like she had two gigs at the same time. Like that is true. Like rock star. I am all about the art. Hear me roar. Like that is super impressive. Let everyone know what you have coming up.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure there'd be time, but I'm going to sing Luna Bella Luna, Luna d'Avril of Poulenc. The poet is Carême, and not Karen, but Carême, C-A-R, I say which language? Careme. Beautiful poet and beautiful poem, and I think it's one of my favorite songs because it is a herald of the springtime, but it closes with this terrible, terrible, or beautiful, I don't know what you'd say, recognition of war and that springtime must break all the weapons. And
Wow.
I see that as when we talk about apocalypse, or I always think the apocalypse should be world peace. So this is my Lune d'avril in French. Lune, belle lune, lune d'avril, faites-moi voir un monde dormant, le pêcheur au cœur de safran, le poisson qui rit du grésil, l'oiseau qui, lointain comme encore, doucement réveille les morts. Et surtout, surtout le pays où il fait joie, où il fait clair, au soleil de primavera. On a brisé tous les fusils. Lune, belle lune, lune d'avril.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Karen. That's coming to a city near you. You can catch Karen on the corner, wrapped in a velvet whisper, just singing randomly next to a hat. Like, give it up for Karen, ladies and gentlemen. You've been a pleasure, darling. Thank you for just being amazing. Yeah. All right, bottoms up. I want to give a shout out to Ireland Funds, the fusion that helped bring about this funky little thing I'm the ringleader of right now called Bottoms Up Singapore Edition. The next poet I'm about to bring up, I got the pleasure of meeting him yesterday through another Zoomverse publishing thing. He has a lot of knowledge and his poetry is it's gorgeous. He goes by the name of Jorge Enrique Gonzalez Pacheco. Tell the world something they don't know about poetry, and then give us a beautiful poem. What does the world not know about poetry?
Well, I don't think so. The word, they don't know nothing about poetry because the word is a poetry and itself. But yeah, I would read my poetry in Spanish. And thank you for inviting me, for having me here. I am a Cuban, original from Cuba, but I grew up here in Europe and in my country in Cuba, and now I'm living in the United States. But I am in Madrid right now, working. I am work more on the film industry, so I'm like close to the filmmakers. I founded Latino Film Festival in my city in Seattle, northwest of United States. But I'm writing poetry since I was very young. I started to write poetry in 1990. Around 1990, I was 19 years old, and right now I'm published around 6 books. And I choose a poem that I wrote to my city. I was born in Havana. It's a beautiful, baroque and mystical city. I was really, the poem is translated into English too, but I was reading in Spanish. So, Habana. Podrás detener mis suspiros de soledad si anidas el ansia en este mar frágil. Tu calle reposa la ternura, envejece. Ascuas del viento la arropan y nombran en lo recóndito al fuego anclado en tus colores. Habana, lúcida eres, sombra que retorna jardín en infinito desvelo para abrigar el alba. Palpitas única, única todas las razones, marcan el paso, frescor, acuarela tus ventanales. Giraldilla, pregón, misterio, voz casta, inquietas, premuras, consagro tu vitral, lo palpo capiteles barrocos, polvorientos, destejidos. Deseo conversar, juego, iris, amor, gentes, bullicios, autos, escritos sobre los sabores. Extasía un rumor, tu arboleda danza, desnudo acierto, parque, nube, verano, Dios. Ámbito hiere la clave, letanía concurre a las músicas cuando estrellas anidan tu cántico huraño. Lejos, sangre llama tus pasiones, languidece, nadie la edifica, allí en morada ausente de tu sol y tu luna. Vienen a mí los esquineros, municipios contiguos, alcobas trémulas. Busco ahora en ti, amiga ciudad, aquel hogar, la catedral, niñez, carne de cemento. Madre tras un beso al adiós, sostiene mis venerados pretéritos. This poem is from my book On the Delight of My Blood that I published in Canada in 2009. I don't know if you give me the permission to read the second one. I want to read another one.
Yeah. We definitely got time. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. The other one is I dedicated to because I'm living in a city that have a huge crisis right now with people living on the street, and I dedicated this poem to the homeless. I travel around the world, and I see a lot of homeless in many different ways. Not only without roof, also without love, family love. So I call them homeless too. And I dedicated this poem. The name is Homeless in English, but the voice I would read in Spanish as well. To these people, no. Conozco también a la intemperie que no le temo a su frío. Yo que en calles mojadas dormí y en escaleras que no me llevaron al cielo sembré mis miedos que recogí con valentía. Hambre y ausencia de una madre, un abrazo, aunque fugaz de ella necesité. Olas de azules en las que el sol quemó su rabia sobre mi piel que no podía llorar. Desarrapado y descalzo, así anduve. Todos me miraron con desprecio, mientras tú, desde tu infinito pórtico, me sostuviste. Sabes, eres invencible y contra ti nadie. Aprendí bien la clave del sin nada, de aquel que sobra en todos lados, de ese que en silencio se desnuda para en la intemperie reposar su horizonte.
Before I even ask you to let the people know, what's going on new in your world, your love of culture, the people, your city, representing, all that made you you. It comes across in the passion for the work that you do, right? In your bio, it mentions master's degree Hispanic literature, bachelor's degree in Latin American literature. Like, you love language, like you love what words can represent,
Yes.
and it
Yes.
comes across in your words. Your favorite thing about poetry, and then let the world know what's going on new. What, like, your favorite thing about poetry? Like, what moves you when it comes to poetry?
But for me, I'm working on a new book, so it's probably my 7 books. I will try to publish bilingual in English and Spanish. And I'm open because my work in cinema take a lot of time of my life around the year, so I don't have the opportunity to go to the film festival, the poetry festival. So I go to more time film festival than poetry festival. So right now I'm trying to move forward to attend more to poetry festival and be more involvement with the poet and the poetry, because at the end I am a poet, so I find the films as a one way to live, and also is art as well. So, but in poetry, I want to see in Seattle, where I live, I can connect with more poets and try to see from there if I can do something for the poetry internationally, because Seattle is a very multicultural city, like Madrid, where I am right now. So yes, I'm very happy to continue working on my book, my new book, and see what the people say when the book is out. So Homeless is a part of this new book, and this book is totally different to the other ones. The other one is more mystical, more personal. Sometimes it's very rough to read the metaphor, but this one is easy. So it's like a conversation with people, like the other ones. When my mom passed away, I was 11 years old. So the poetry came after she passed. So the poetry moved me to change, like, help me to change my perception about life and how I was living. So I grew part of my life until I was 25, 27 in my country, in Cuba. So, but I moved to the United States in 2003, but at this time I had the opportunity to travel and learn about other culture, and the poetry come more than now, realistically. But yes, I wanted to continue writing poetry and put my focus more on the poetry.
There's I've had the pleasure of surviving off my craft for like the last 20 years, right? And I've come to understand that as an artist, period, but especially as a poet and a writer, we don't ever really take off of work. We're always making mental notes, right? About an image or like fragments that we're going to use in some poem later or some turn of phrase. So, like, I know you're ready to get back out there, but make that move and know, like, you're still one of the baddest things stomping. Because even though you've been doing the film for a while, you still rock out with words. Like, so when you make that transition back into the public eye on that platform in Seattle, was it Seattle?
Yes, Seattle.
Yeah, it's in Seattle, because their culture is real. People from Seattle are proud that they're from Seattle. So like, yeah. So like, as you
Very
get back out
proud.
of the culture, very proud, right? As you get back into that culture, embrace it. They're gonna love you back. Thank you for showing
No,
up,
thank
and
you.
thank you for the poetry. Yeah.
Thank you, Sid, to have me here, and Lacan and Eric for inviting me to read. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Everybody give it up for Jorge, ladies and gentlemen. And the crowd goes wild. All right. The next poet coming up. I like the name alone. Like, I'm gonna say this a couple more 10 times during this show. Rockstar poets, every last one of these poets. Now the name Soy Avocado Jennifer just sounds like a rock star. Like, that just lets you know off gate that they're just a rock star with a rock star name. Jennifer, tell us when did you start writing poetry, and what you're going to bring to the table today.
I started writing in the second half of the year 2021, and I'm going to read 3 poems today. The second one is an aphoristic poem. Yes. I'm from Singapore, by the way. Okay, so the first one is Ngai Oi Chon Vuka. I want to go home. Ngai Oi Yim Kun Sui. Ngai Oi Chon. Ngai Yim Kun Sui. Ngai Oi Chon. Yeah, this girl, Jennifer the Jahat, suka Jabba the Hutt. Dia tak cakap our lingo. Dia tak tahu masak, tak tahu makan, spicy peranakan comida. Her tongue cannot tahan. T-O-O Beloho, Akong Titsun, di si po. Ke paso, dia pergi ke pasar. Then jatuh, ambulance joy ki hi. Ngai oyim kun sui, ngai chọn. Ngai oyim kun sui, ngai chọn. 佢講到冇聲，但係冇人聽，無能曉啦。Dia mau balik rumah. He's not yet ready. Plus, he has no key. To go through the door, he's still unsteady. Stay a while longer. Don't walk. Then wait a bit longer. To John Bukar. The second poem is called White Waves, and it's written after the painting The Emerald by Sari Wijayanti, who is originally from Indonesia, and we met in Singapore. So I would try and share the picture if I can. Okay, got it somewhere. I think so. Is this the one? Can you see the picture?
Yes, it just popped up.
All right, so this is White Waves, the poem, and it's based on and a response to The Emerald by Sari Wijayanti. The edges roll asymmetrically to form the dynamic boundary to divide the blue sea into 2 prongs of an inverted V. In your circumstances and vision, from your vantage position, it looks like a lacy V for victory. But from here, it's a veiled hill, actually. Waves eavesdrop between crashings when silence is powered by cranking the colossal dynamo of an engine to the uttermost unimaginable margin in a big sweep across dark sand with waves of a strong hand no one is allowed to imagine. Allowed after too much gin and tonic triads join in unison. The moon hangs in perfect balance, slightly above the horizontal divide. Ergo, it's a person. It cannot hide. Moonshine spreads in sunny yellow, like a half-boiled egg on toast. It looks like a semi-brief note from part of a manuscript's quote. It belongs in a child's music book because of its egg yolk yellow look. A child may ask why. Its reflections, full of silver slivers in configuration, the waves run more laps. Their power to change maps. So change takes millennia of time beyond the simple page of rhyme. The last poem is called That Last Saturday. You were kind of watching TV on a big screen. The volume was not discernible, very soft spoken, like you. You were kind of looking out for me, waiting for me to turn up to park at your home. You were kind of waiting to say hi and to ask me what time I'd be back. Then you'd say, okay. You were kind of saying, see you later. But we both knew you would likely be taking a nap. Then that last Saturday, you were too, like now. You were kind, not kind of, just kind. Thank you.
You guys and gals make my job like the easiest thing on the planet. What was the last line of that poem?
Not kind of, just kind.
I love it. Like, I dig that so much. You have this voice that's like these definitive statements, these definitive images that you have in your poems. It's mind blowing. What is it? The heart soft of the meter. The moon hangs in perfect balance. Like, there's something about the way the words roll off your tongue when you read it, but like the sound of it, the musicality of your words, it's impressive, Jennifer. Like, you gotta know you have something there. Where you're from, what's one of the most beautiful things about where you're from? Like, if you wanted to let the world know like something truly beautiful about where you're from, what would it be?
I think we have something very precious in Singapore, and that is we have different races and different religions, and we have harmony. And that is very, very precious.
That's awesome. What's coming up new, and where can people meet you or see you?
Well, so we've just come up with this book, Sari and I, Sari from Indonesia, and I'm from Singapore, and three of us have come up with this book. It's called Pagi Page. Pagi means morning in Indonesian and in Malay, and page is, of course, page. So it basically tries to evoke a feeling of a new page every morning, and that also means a new beginning. So if something has happened yesterday and it's not too great, we can just turn the page and move on. So that's how this book came together. And yeah, it's very colorful because we love colors. So yeah, so Emerald is here as well. So to find me, I have got Instagram and Facebook, Soy Avocado. Yeah.
Soy Avocado. The book, it looks beautiful. The colors and the whole nine, yeah. I have this, there's a cliche that goes, the most precious thing in the world is time, because once we spend it, we can't get it back, you know? So like, I appreciate that concept of no matter how the day was yesterday, this morning, like, we can turn it all around. And that's like hopeful. And I love that. Like, where can they find the book? Like, if they wanted to get the book, where can they find it?
You can message me on Insta or on Facebook. And then
Okay,
we'll
and
just-
that's Soy Avocado?
Avocado, yes. I'm a stuffed toy looking icon or profile pic on both Instagram and on Facebook. Yeah.
Facebook. All right. Thank you for being a part of this and adding to the rock star status. Yeah, don't let hope die. We do not need to let hope die, and I can appreciate that. Every morning's a new morning. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Soy Avocado, and the room goes wild. We're gonna bring up one more artist, and I have a couple of things to make you privy to. The next artist, writer, poet, most of us have multiple genres of art we dabble in, goes by the name of Duin Olagan. How bad did I didn't use my twang. I didn't use my Duin twang.
Nope, that was fine. Doing Olangan.
Awesome. First, tell us about the bright colors you're wearing. Let us know a little bit about you. And then, like, give us a poem, bro.
So the bright colours are the Donegal jersey, like Sam. I'm from Donegal in Northwest Ireland, and it's the All Ireland Gaelic football final today. Donegal are playing against Kerry, and so once we're finished here, I'm going straight to the television for a few hours, and hopefully we'll have cause for celebration later on.
Word. Yeah, I can't wait to hear what you got. Yeah, give it to us. The floor is yours.
So I'll read two poems and they're relatively short. The first one is Ideolocator, and just to introduce that, Ideolocator, the little red dot that you see on stationary maps at tourist points and shopping malls and things like that that say you are here. The fancier term for that is ideolocator, and that's what I've entitled this poem. It's a conversation between a tourist and a farmer, kind of in a remote area, and it discusses kind of a tourist's view versus the local farmer who's had a harder life in the area. So this is ideolocator. An seo atá tú a churasóir ar bhair sléamh éig an eile, faoi go raon saoirí, camra de ghlach ag tarint pictar don lucht sa bhála. Féach na cíorí úd a churasóir, bal é thad bhána siad, fuarthas thadaí a masc na gíorach maidin gevri, mac leis a chochíon na cíorí inis. An bhecin tú an réala gúig na cháil, tá ma hantais mohorí agus uncle lum an ui a bhain, cursim in ata. An siepel sin an acha, hiachar machar onnig mac nuair a réana, lí a chinniu cotrum le farhin sléfa, tógu machar I jack corsan. Cifni orhu a chorasor cydiach, thadi mogini, agus tú tífhir de chamra, a nalas a nhart a grawa, a hochel ditch and glan shaw. So that's the first one, ideolocator. And just I'll do one more wee short one called Brontinus or Present. And my mother passed away in October of last year, and this kind of deals with kind of my first giving her a Christmas present while in the grave. So it's called Brontinus. Lugum go séamh mo lau an cré theo crua agus buainiam dom a wethair. Líana den chiad nó le gríomh, ní wihi Brontinus wuhi, nó baróg nó banachtaí na féile. Cheannaí dealamh cré uad I hían. Líana den chiad nó le gríomh, ní le póg ar a baithis a bherum dí Brontinus, ac le lau dhéamh locha cré theo crua. So that's the poems. Grumile Mayogov. Thank you all for listening.
You're like you give off this aura of a man's man poet. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you go to bars and just toss them back and then feel really nice and just start reciting poetry on the side of the block smoking a cigarette with somebody. Like, you seem someone cool to hang out with, and I love it. And the ideal locator, like,
Yep.
I appreciate that the way it opens up and you go into this, it's here you are tourist on top of some other hill under the summer sun, a camera in your hand, taking a picture for those at home. It's like, it's this juxtaposition of, you're sticking out, folk. Like, I can tell you're not from around these parts, because you're trying to capture every single moment without embracing how beautiful these moments that the people who dwell there embrace every day. You know, like that juxtaposition, the location between like city and country, you know, rural area and big city, you know? And I like the way you showed that in the title, brother. I feel like people sleep on a poem starts with this title. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the first line of verse. So the way you titled that poem, I think is super awesome. What makes you tick? as a writer? Like, what makes you continue to write?
I think really it might be a little bit of a cop out of an answer, but I think I have to. I get fidgety like a smoker that doesn't have a cigarette if the pen is out of my hand too long. And so
Yeah.
I write some poetry, some short stories, and a few articles on Irish folklore for a few different magazines. So I dabble across a few different media, but yeah, I have to do it. I get angsty if I don't.
That's the man's man, the Ernest Hemingway, as we say in the United States. Like, that's the whole, I have no choice but to write. You know what I'm saying? Like that feeling of one way or another, I have to get this out of me, whether it's a short story, a poem, you know what I'm saying? Like a flash fiction or something. Like, I love it. Like, I love this art form so much. And especially a Marine, you give off that, as I was telling another poet a couple hours ago, don't think poets are complete pacifists. You seem like one of those guys where, like, if you insult my poetry too much, I would throw a rock through your window with a haiku attached. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get that aura off, and I love it. Let the people know what you have coming up.
So I have a few, I have a short story coming out in the Irish language magazine Core, the August edition, so that'll be out next month. I have a few short stories coming out in different journals over the next few months. And apart from that, not too much writing and teaching. And hopefully I'll return to poetry once these few short stories are finished up.
Yeah. And last but not least, if there could be one thing you can let the world know that is truly beautiful about where you come from, what would that be?
I think, well, currently I'm looking out a window and I see the Atlantic Ocean, and the next stop is America. I'm right on the coast here at the minute. I think where Sam and I come from, and Celine there as well, it's almost impossible not to be inspired. I know in my poem I kind of criticize people for getting over inspired or maybe reaching for the camera too often. But
Right.
it's like they say, when you name the bird, you cease to hear the song. And if you try to capture too much through the lens of a camera, I think you're not going to capture the beauty in your own eye. So that's, I think, maybe the wilderness and the beauty is my favorite thing about where I'm from.
And where can they purchase your work? That's an amazing answer, by the way. Where can they purchase your work?
Easiest thing is to Google Duan Olongan. There'll be links to a few videos, recordings of poetry, and to a shop somewhere that maybe sells my only published book, which is also called Ideolocator. So Googling Duan Olongan's the easiest way to get any information.
Awesome. Another rock star, man. I hope your team does amazingly well. I hope it's exciting. It makes you glued to the television, because that's what a good championship game is supposed to be, right? Thank you. Give it back up for doing, ladies and gentlemen. And the room goes wild. Thank you, brother. Let's say we're at a little bit past the halfway mark. I'm your crazy host again, CP Mays, Bottoms Up, Singapore edition. PGN, Poetry Global Network, and our partners, Ireland Funds. There's so much going on in both worlds that the showcase here, I'm sure, isn't the only thing going on in these respective worlds. Like, don't fall in love with the belief system, planet Earth, that good poetry only comes from one region and only sounds one way. And if it isn't in English, it can't be beautiful, that you can't just fall in love with what brought you up on this planet. That's the thing I love about this year's Singapore edition, and the people we have from all across the globe. PGN, PoetryGlobalNetwork.com. Check out what we got going on. People in the room, don't be afraid to drop lines in chat. Let people know what's going on. You can find me on Insta at CPMAZE, and I can keep you up to speed on what's going on in our worlds. One word, thank you. I feel awkward now. So the next poet I'm gonna bring up to take some of this awkwardness away goes by the name of, I gotta make sure they're in the room, goes by the name of Anne McMaster. Introduce yourself to the planet, and let us know what's going on in your world before you even read a poem. Like what's going on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
First of all, huge thanks to Poetry Global Network for welcoming me here. I'm having such a wonderful time. This is my first time to experience this. I am very jealous of Celine and Duan and Sam because they are in a county that is my spirit animal, which is Donegal. I'm the next one over, County Derry, which is highly rural, not so many stunning beaches, but a quiet little area. And I'm back living. I spent a few years in America and I'm back now. I've been back quite a while living on the old farm where I grew up. I write, I make films, I do a number of things, but I love words. And and I write in Ulster Scots and in English, knowing that Ulster Scots is linked so wonderfully to all the languages that come through this wonderful island, including Irish, and celebrate that too.
I love you already.
Thank you.
Share with us this thing called poetry. Like, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I'm going to, I have a couple of tiny Ulster Scots pieces that lead into a longer piece. My background, and no matter what I've ever done in my life and all the things I've ever done have come from learning one thing. I'm the daughter of a farmer. So this is Loving Nature. A blessing on a summertime morning. It is a blessing to howl away in my heart this fresh new day, this raisin sun, this stunna licht, this never-ending tholen blue. Springtime song. Springtime will land again. Now greet the returning sun. Lift your head to the open sky. Make yourself ready to sing. And one of the things that I used to do with my dad working on the farm, if you ever want to see me get really emotional about things, show me, and this will make the Donegal folk laugh, a Massey 135 tractor, and I will start to cry because that was my history of working on the farm. This is called Baptism at the Farm Well. Summer has come gradually to its knees. The year is wearing thin now. It is growing tired and slow. Darkness and memory slipping ever closer to the edges of the day. On this soft blue night, in one final patient dusk, I feel the year begin to falter. I have come to stand alone here beside the river's edge, drawn by the sound of running water, my face raised to the memory of a distant summer's day. I am 12 years old, and with my father making hay. Once morning eager with the promise of my long-grown bones, muscles taut and strong under my salt-slick skin, I have hefted a summer full of grass within these scented hours, and I am weary now. My father calls me to the brow of the hill where 4 fields meet. It is a small, dark copse, a shaded spot, and there, silent, still together, my eyes raised beyond the summer branches to an open sky, a sky that soars unvaulted into the blue. My father reaches into the well his family once searched and found, waters centuries cool and shadowed now, and baptizes me in the water of the day. This is the correct order of my heart. This life, this moment. The water trickles down my sun-scorched skin, and I am elemental. Water, air, soil, sky, sun, growth within me and around me. I will flourish here, blessed and baptized this golden summer's day. Now my eyes are open and the sun is gone. There is a depth beyond silence and the shape of words, a gentle movement in the water that I mistake almost for a breeze. Will you join me here? Feel the weight, the movement, and the benediction of the water and the sky. Stand beside me as the stars catch fire. Thank you.
I swear you guys and gals are making my job the easiest thing on the planet. I'm a lover of words. That's like, it's so, I'm documenting not just my upbringing and my childhood and the hard days of work, but the beautiful things that come as the seasons change, like, and that your spirit animal is a tractor. That is super awesome too. Yeah. I almost don't want to hold out this question, but I gotta know. One thing that's beautiful that you would like the world to know about where you're from. Like one thing that's truly beautiful to you. Yeah.
Connection, connectivity, kindness. I know I'm answering three, but in a world that seems to be on fire right now, I think there is the small town world. I spent so many years living in America and traveling all over it and meeting so many of the good people that are still there. And the connection and kindness that we need, the humanity that we need, is in the small town life that I live now. And I'm so grateful for that. And that's where words bring us, they carry us to each other. And that's why I chase words and I chase the light. And that's what I do here.
So awesome. I swear for me, it's like the end of the tunnel light. There's a sign that says, go back, write one more poem. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love words and I feel like you love them too the same way. Where can we find you on the planet? Like, I am, if you Google me, I've done a few things that have given me a frighteningly big profile that I try to hide behind. I've been making TV programs and such. Unfortunately, they're not available through the world, but they are within the UK, so I apologize for that. But I'm on Facebook as Anne McMaster. And you can also find me on various other social media, but Google me and I'm there. I'm usually sitting quietly in a corner covered with cats or outside feeding wild birds with a cup of coffee, because that's how I roll, and that's what helps me ride. Oh man, you're my spirit animal. Like, you're the melanin deficient version of my wife. Like, cause she's a country girl, you know, and her connection is just amazing to the seasons, to the land, and fall starts so early. Like, I want the seasons to come. You know what I'm saying? Like that whole giddy thing about nature. You remind me of my wife, which gives you 3.14 bonus points for being a poet in my world. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Anne. Sound of one hand clapping and the room goes wild. All right. So, the next writer coming up, I can't wait to figure out, how can I put this? I can't wait to figure out how her voice sounds. Like, her smile is bright. I can't wait to figure out how the tone of her poems come across, because her smile is just so bright. She goes by the name of Celine McGlynn. Yay. I get it right?
Yes, that's perfect.
3.14 points extra for me. Tell us where you're from and what you have going on before you even jump into your poems. What's new in your world?
Well, I am also from Donegal, East Donegal, and I've been writing poetry for as long as I can remember. And it's just been so amazing to be here at this, to hear the different voices and the poetry of each different language. And it's exciting for me because where I'm from in Donegal, we have 3 languages which are spoken on a daily basis. We have English, Irish, and Ulster Scots. And we also have a festival honouring Frances Browne in October, which involves the 3 languages and involves a poetry competition in the 3 languages. And it's how I came into contact with Jennifer Leon, because Jennifer is one of our previous winners. So it's wonderful to meet Jennifer, and it's just so wonderful to be here. And it's been so good.
The floor is yours. Like, I am so intrigued to see like the tone of your poems. I am so excited. The floor is yours. Give us one of these things called a poem. Yeah.
Yeah. This first poem has a Singapore connection. My daughter moved to Singapore in 2011, and before Nuala went to Singapore, we climbed Croagh Patrick, which is also known as the Reek. So I'm going to start with that one, and then I'll read another one then. The Reek. We do not know what lies ahead. Laughter and pilgrim talk lead us on. It rises before us, bathed in the sun. We have a day. We have the Reek. The man who stops to chat is local, knows how to come down without falling. You never dig your heel in. Use the front of your foot. Sideways is safer coming down a mountain. I can feel my breath. Another step on soft grass after rock. The mountain stream sings a traveling song, a passing praise. Your voice dances on my ear. Your plans are our progress. Steady companions, we leave no trace. We stop and breathe in Mayo. Drink water and taste blue cool on our tongues. Marvel at our little world. Leave it behind. There's no room for cares today. Just one step, no time. Why did Patrick choose this hill and not another? Did he long for this summit where he could stop and pray? Touch the gate at the highest point? See the islands in the bay. And the next short one I'm going to read is light. I find the idea of light miraculous on every level. Light. Ordinary things made sacred with the light. How it would fall on a page as I read. How precious now the apples. The oranges, and his form, the strength of it, how it was part of the day. Their faces, the brown eyes, the way it shone on their heads, the shape of them, the evening, how it loved the mountain, was reluctant to leave, went so easy, like a falling prayer. And this last piece, and it's not very long, was for my father, who passed away nearly 30 years ago. And Daddy was sick for a long time, and we tried everything, relics, which I didn't really believe in, but in case they would work, we tried them. I sleep on the blood of the saint. I had no faith in relics, holy wells, or rosaries, whispered through fingers kneeling on cold floors. My trust was in the boy who dug my grandfather's grave, who joked that at his wake he did not want women in high heels crying, walking over stones. Daddy made death a friend. With all the chats we had about the funeral, who to ask to dinner, wondering who would go. I had no faith in Padre Pio's blood-stained blood, sourced in combat. Aged leather covered the bandage that stemmed the flow from his stigmata. A gift for my father, he placed it on his heart. It cannot be lost, must be kept safe. Until tomorrow, when I take it back, I carry it with me everywhere. Afraid to let it out of my sight, I sleep on the blood of the saint, wake at dawn, surprised by joy. Know that nothing is lost. Everything is returned. Thank you.
3 statements. First, ladies and gentlemen, when she smiles, when she reads a poem, you can hear it and see it on the page, right? Oranges, oranges. Like, I love that part of the poem. It touched me. And that delivery too, the delivery of the ending. Let me let you guys know about true rock star poet. Like, a lot of poets can hide behind paper sometimes because we're introverts. A lot of us are wallflowers, those kind of character traits. And then there are some of us who find a way to shine throughout our, what could be awkwardness, what could be whatever makes us us. The way she stopped the last line of verse and delivered it like it was an Oscar award-winning performance line. Like Shakespeare wrote that last line. Can you give us that last line one more time in your poem? The last one. The last poem. Yeah, that was so awesome.
Thank you. Know that nothing is lost. Everything is returned.
That's a great line of verse. That's just a beautiful line of verse. You have hello world. Sometimes for us writers, we'll write a line of verse that scares us to death because we don't know what's going to come, like what we have to do next to top this line of verse. That ending, you knew you had to pat yourself on the back, kind ma'am. Pat yourself on the back because that last line is powerful. Tell me one thing truly beautiful that the world doesn't know about where you're from.
We don't live, we're sort of live in the center of the county, so we're not near all the beautiful beaches, but we're not that far that we can't go there. But where I live, there are beautiful mountains, and I love the mountains and the river. The river Finn flows through the place where I live, and it's very special place. Yeah, and where we live on quite where our house is quite high up. So in every direction we have beautiful views. We can see across to Northern Ireland where Anne McMaster is from one side, and I can see where I lived most of my adult life before I got married. I can see that from the back of the house, and it's lovely. It is a beautiful place.
The 3, I said I had 3. The third question, your narrative style of like the great way you're narrating these beautiful moments, right? These moments frozen in time that we just explode out, that we just make bigger than life. Have you always had that narrative style? Did it take a while to find your voice? To find who Celine really is, who you are? Yeah.
Yeah, I've always been drawn to economy in language. And I've been drawn to that. I grew up in a pub, so I had the benefit of listening to an awful lot of people speaking and how they speak as well. And I think that developed my poetry in a way. And because I was talking to an awful lot of adults, I was a child in a pub, so I was talking to a lot of adults, and and I found that we had a lot of music and singing, so I was exposed to a lot of songs, which are really poems as well, from a very young age. And I just love the written word, and I love how it allows you to meet yourself. If the poem reaches you, you have also reached it, and the poem wants to be acknowledged, I think.
You're a rock star. You know it. And almost like if for some reason poetry just didn't exist in the world, I feel like your heart would just shatter. Like the way you love language, like it's evident. One last question. What haven't you accomplished yet that you want to accomplish in your writing career or life in general?
Yeah, I am a poet. I'm also a visual artist. So at some point, I would like to blend the two in some way, not necessarily to have my poems and paintings in one book, but I would like to create a work of paintings inspired by poems, or poems inspired by paintings. I like that, like the way Jennifer's poem was inspired by the emerald painting. That I like that, how sparks can fly when you put the arts together.
There's I have this saying that I had the pleasure of being a frontman in a couple of bands that had different genres of music, just because they were like, hey, we need a lead vocalist, and I'm like, I don't sing, but I can spit you a poem, you know. I think there's something special about when we make hybrid art, you know, like when we do these crossover vibes of a prose poem, or a poem composed of nothing but haikus, but you don't really know that unless you say something. So to like fuse painting and words in these mixed media canvases, I guess we can call them for the moment.
Yeah.
I think that's what the progression of poetry is. I think we can't fight that that's going to be what the future holds for us. In the world we live right now with AI and images and all of that, like the fusing of arts, it's going to be a beautiful thing. So like, pick up that paintbrush, Celine, like pick up the paintbrush. Like, it doesn't have to be pretty the first time. You don't have to show anybody. You don't have to like ask a loved one, how does this make you feel? Just do it. And you don't have to show anyone, because it has to get done. You are a rock star. Where can people find your work?
I'm on Facebook, and if you Google me, I come up with some YouTube videos. And this is my first collection, Forged in the Stars, and I'm working on another collection as well.
Okay, word. Thank you. Like, you didn't let me down with the tone of your poems. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Celine, repping where she's from and the beautiful things about her upbringing and her spirit animal, the tractor, rock and roll. Before we close out the night, I want to go around the room one more time with the poets. And I just have one question. Why poetry? And try to answer that question, I don't know, in no more than 30 seconds. Like, why poetry? And we're going to you first. Why poetry?
Main lines into the heart, distills everything we think, we feel, we see. It's a discipline and it's a connection. And why not?
Sam, why poetry?
After Anne, you gave the perfect answer. Because it is the easiest thing it's the easiest way to see through another person's eyes. And that's what makes it worth writing and what makes it worth reading.
Beautiful. Doing, repping the man's voice in poetry. Why poetry?
I think poetry is like myth in that it's a non-scientific or non-traditionally scientific way to try to make a little bit of sense out of the world. So to simply kind of try to figure out what's going on in your life and the life of others, I think.
Teresa. Oh, no, Teresa, you're just a fan in the room. Let's go to Jorge. Why poetry? Where are you, Jorge? Okay. Soy! Back to you, Jennifer.
I'm here.
Okay, Jorge, why poetry? Why
Repeat
poetry?
the question because I was reading something here.
No worries.
Repeat
I'm
the
just
question.
gonna tell the world you were writing a poem. That makes you sound like even more of a rock star. You were just writing a poem. Why poetry? Why poetry?
Well,
Of
why
all the things
poetry?
yeah.
The poetry for me is my life. So the poetry saved my life. After my mom passed away, if I don't write poetry, probably I'm not here right now. So this is the answer. Why poetry? Yeah, saved my life. Thank you.
Karen, why poetry? And you're muted. So you just said the most, you said the most beautifulest thing that you can never recreate. But this time around, why poetry? And you're back on mute.
There. I think that's it. Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, to bring all of us together is there is a commonality here through poetry. And I wrote a musical about Colette, and I had her say towards the beginning, all that I do, I write, except for those moments when I wish to be still. So that is just one of her lines, and I think of that. I think, I'm speaking through that a little bit myself. Poetry synthesizes what we do and what we learn. And it's just, I don't think there is anything that can replicate what poetry does. And it's, yes, of course, I hear all of you saying this is our life. We need to write poetry. But as far as what poetry does in the world, I think it also can synthesize what we are going through. Now we need poetry more than anything. That's all. Thank you.
Those are the rock star answers. I bet. Why poetry?
Yes, I like poetry because it's the experience that inspires me to write. The words are just representations of that experience. And then the words, when it's written, it has meaning. Right? So
Yeah.
it's I mean, that's it.
You're like, your response is like, I don't want to get emotional about it. I swear, I said I wasn't gonna cry. I said I wasn't gonna cry. I said I wasn't gonna cry. That's awesome. Ismet, why poetry?
Oh, well, why? Because when I write, I see myself evolve because I think the emotion distill. So, did I answer your question or?
Absolutely. Ismet, why poetry?
It simply sets me free and it helps me understand myself better.
We are some emotional suckers in this room. Like, like we're giddy over words. That's super crazy. Celine, the mistress of moods. Why poetry? Why poetry?
I think the reason for poetry is it takes a moment in time and crystallizes it. It turns it into like a gem. It shines wherever it is. It becomes that your thought put on a page becomes something else. And then when someone sees it, they see it in their own way and it becomes something different for them, like facets of a diamond, all the different directions. It's miraculous.
We are such emotional suckers. Like I feel like if the world was about to end and us warrior poets, we're gonna charge into the fold, armed with nothing but words, and change the whole world around. Like, I love it. I'm a sucker for poetry. And am I missing anyone? Oh yeah. No. I think I got everybody. Oh wow. I hope that some of you stick around and hear some of these other phenomenal poets that we're going to start the open mic with pretty soon. I promised that I was going to actually read a poem. And I will allow someone else to randomly ask me a question. Here's the poem. I guess, yeah, here's a poem. It's called Badge Me into Beautiful. May the pressure soda pop fizz forever, my friend. Your world was never meant to be flat. Jam as much dirty laundry as you can inside the man's machine and watch the top 1% come clean. I grabbed your tongue by its hand, proceeded to Sunday stroll it around a secluded smile and a pet peeve until your smile robbed me. So I pleaded with all of the could-haves, not to bury me with the rest of her never could-have-beens, so you put in the work. Hope it pays off. Tell yourself that he didn't really mean it. Remind your broken lampshade language and flying saucer diction is the only broken slang love speech she ever learned, so you work. Tell yourself that I deserve better than I don't really deserve. You pick a drug of choice, chase it with the laps you run around yourself. Cardiac arrest the track marks and stay sprinting away with yourself with that runner's high. Forget complaining if you've never learned to walk in another man's shoes. Try handicapping in another man's wheelchair for a day. Gather up all the grit you can muster and try walking a mile in another man's crutches. I just tried both. Believe me, it's nothing to brag about. The nicotine in my lungs can co-sign that. The numb never minds not only willing to step on another man's head just to get ahead are quicker to cut off a wheelchair and rush our traffic. All of us who have the same shuffle forearm pistons pass head nods, passerby wrist games wave to each other, race and gender make up different makes and models, all runway bruise, spoke knuckles and over overcome. I smell like sweat, sympathy, and do I deserve some? The only other that can stare you straight in the face to face, all ride in strollers. I'm sure there's a metaphor in that mess somewhere, but right now I'm emotionally crutched and I can't seem to navigate my way around it. My appointment was for 11:30. I checked in at 11:28. It's almost 11:50 and I'm in the Veteran Affairs Center psych ward. 15 minutes pass. A deathly disturbed silence fills the room. 24 or so veterans know something that the rest of the world doesn't know. Something that few in the rest of the world can grasp, grip, and hold on to. If the brain doesn't want to, this world is truly messed up. And no one truly embraces it, let alone truly cares, unless some body cavity can turn a great profit. The next doctor walks in, gently vibrates a name into the room until heads turning make eye contact with the rest of Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, waiting for psychiatric meds to bingo their cachet. There are walkers and wheelchairs parallel parked all around this room. A young granddaughter of a toothless Vietnam vet asked her mother, who decided to join this forgotten field trip of, "Am I innocent?" A heartfelt question. She points her tiny little fingers and says, "Is he a soldier, Mommy?" The sad of silence fills the room again. I look up from writing this and notice another dawn of vets have formed a line at the check-in window. It's 30 minutes past my appointment time. So it's time for me to rejoin that line and check in again. Bottoms up. This is my life. This is my life on days like this. Poem. I am a lover of harmony. If you know anyone that's in the military, regardless of creeds and personal belief systems, tell them thank you for fighting for some of our rights to even question the government. Thank you for trying to bring peace in a world that's chaotic. Thank you for the good parts in your heart that made you think you can make a difference in this world. You know, policemen and firemen and all of the peoples who give so much of their life for others. Like, thank them. Our world is chaotic, so, and I'm a Marine Corps veteran, so we come back different. Support the troops, you know, support your troops, regardless of how you feel about what they had to do because of orders. Anyone in the room now, from Bottoms Up Singapore edition, get to throw a question at me if you would like. Before I get shy and crawl into a wallflower. Going once.
Can I ask a question?
Oh, I was trying to get away with it, dude. I swear I was trying to moonwalk out of this. I was trying to moonwalk out of it. What's good? What's good?
Hello, man. Congratulations, by the way, and thank you for hosting. Being a host is never easy, especially with an energy that we have tonight. I have a question for you. More of like the inner child in me wants to ask you something. Is that okay?
I was really drunk off cough medicine and I thought I could fly. Like, is that an answer? Is that a good answer to the question? Like, go
Yeah.
ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Mr. CP. I would like to ask if you can talk to English, what would you like to say to that language?
Oh. If I can talk to English, what would I like to say to language? Is that the question?
Something like that.
English, because I'm from the Western world, if God or your gods or our gods do not speak American, because I swear in the United States, we don't speak English. Sometimes we just speak American like it's a real language. I would like to tell English like it's okay to borrow and make your own language, but at least pay homage to where you took these fragments from. That's probably what I would say, you know? So
That's a good answer.
and how old are you? How old are you, by the way? How did your mom let you get on a computer with all of these adults? Like, how old are you, interviewer?
Don't worry, CP. I will be rolling him off to the other side. Thank you so much, everyone.
Awesome.
Thank you, man.
Before I move, whoa. Okay, Finn Bell, you have a hand raised, yeah? Uh-oh. I'm
I
scared of Finn Bell.
do.
She beats me when nobody's looking. Like, I'm afraid of Finn's questions.
Hi, so my question is, this is your second time, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, hosting a Bottoms Up Singapore edition. So what did this one bring to your art? What did this particular one bring to your art? How did it feed it?
If the cool thing about iambic pentameter with the ebb and flow of the syllables, the heart and soft, it creates this musicality, right? And it makes it so conversational and down to earth the way iambic pentameter can make a line and verse flow. This time around, hearing poems in mother tongues, there was something beautiful about just being human where you're from. Like to hear so many different tones and sounds and the way we pronounce syllables and how some of the poems when transcribed still carry the same weight. This time around with this fusion, this collection of rock stars, Ireland and Egypt and the States and Singapore, the crossover of languages, we made a hybrid collective poem tonight. And it still spoke humanity. That's what's special about this edition. Everyone speaking in their mother tongue and us coming together to make a beautiful moment in time. That's what I really like about this edition.
Amen. It was a blanket on the other senses where it was hyper focused on just that, the intonation, the sound. It was gorgeous. Thanks, CP.
Yeah, I'm gonna cry when I shut off this screen. Like, you guys rock. Like, I swear.
Yes.
And especially with the last answers. Lee, you have a question.
Indeed. Well, it's two questions really. The first one is I just wondered how your slam went.
It went very well. Hello world. I had this big slam competition where I coached a team that was virtual into a brick and mortar competition. I actually won the Slam Master Park, the coaches competition. It went really well. We showed the world that Zoom poets, we have legs, and we know how to write poems. It was beautiful. I bounce a quick question off you, Lee. If you had a question you could ask any one of the poets on this playbill, what would that question be? And I'll direct it to one of the poets. If you can ask these poets anything, what would it be?
do you ever think a poem is finished?
Soy, avocado, Jennifer, do you think a poem's ever finished?
Yes.
Why? Or how? I'm sorry, not why. How do you know when a poem's finished?
How do I know? Well, I think I tend to write multi-directional poems, and a lot of the poems can be read in reverse order, meaning that I can read the lines from the last line to the top line as well. So that poem, well, actually is never finished, right? Because you can keep circulating from top to bottom, bottom to top, and some of the lines can even be randomly picked to read. So in that sense, it is finished and yet not quite, because it really depends on the reader's choice, how you want to read the poem. You can pick up a line from somewhere in the middle, or you can pick the line and read the lines from the bottom up. Bottom up, yes, exactly.
I see what you did there. Bottoms up. Yes. But yeah.
So I think that if I feel that that's enough to complete that poem or that cycle or that circle, that's it. And then I move on to something else. Yeah.
Awesome. And same question. Is a poem ever finished?
I think every poem has potential. Sometimes we need to let it go. I kind of know I'm dancing around the answer. In my previous life, I was a playwright. And if I had a couple of dimes for every time I sat in the theater and watched the show and went, yeah, no, I should have really taken that line out or moved that character, I'd be in Barbados being like warm. But sometimes they need to go, so we have to let the poems go. I think the poem is I don't want to go on for too long, but I think the poem is who we are in the moment. And as we grow, we may come back to poems that we have written earlier, and life has tumbled us. It's rolled us. It's burned bits off of us. It's damaged us. And so we sometimes look at a poem with different eyes, but let it be. It was who we are just then. But I love the fact that my poems are a journal of my life, not only in my experience, but also of just who I was, how I felt, what I saw at that point in time. And so I let them be. So that's a really long way of saying, yeah.
A poet with a mouthful of words. Like that rarely happens.
Too many. I apologize.
Sam, is a poem ever done? Do you think it's possible?
I think so. I think poetry sometimes, writing poems is sometimes like blacksmithing. You can't work cold iron. And there's definitely poems I've written where I want to go back and I'm like, oh, I see now how to improve that. But the whatever fire was burning when I wrote that poem has gone out. Anything I do now would just be bending it out of shape. Like it happened in a moment. And I say that I don't usually give definite answers about poetry, but I feel very definite about this because I've tried and failed. I think a lot of us have to go back and fix an earlier poem, and you end up just making it nothing at all. So that would be my answer. I think so. I think sometimes there's a window you have to work in, and the poem is finished, and hopefully it's in the right shape that you want it to be in when it's finished. But there comes a point where it's done.
That's such a PC answer. Like that's just a poetically correct answer. I love it. Let's see. Karen, Songbird, is a poem ever done?
That a poem is a conversation. And I find that I write a poem, and yes, that part of the conversation is complete, and then I write another poem, which is sometimes an answer to that poem, and sometimes I think, well, they are really the same poem. So that's a kind of an ambivalent answer, but yes, basically, I do think poems end. It's kind of like a song; it has a bow, and it begins, and and it artistically is finished. But it's also a conversation. So I think I'd have to end with that.
The answer was so jazz. It's jazz, man. Okay. Yeah. Am I missing anybody that I really want? Oh, yeah. Ismet, I see you. Is a poem ever done?
Well, to me, a poem is like a photograph. It captures a moment in time. And sometimes it ends, and sometimes it's an open-ended. It could be the start of a new one. It depends on the feeling.
Got you. Like a cliffhanger, kind of, sort of. You can end a poem on this big cliffhanger that makes you want more of the poetry. You know what I'm saying? Like, not all poems need a pretty red ribbon. Is that pretty much what you're alluding to? Like, not all poems need a pretty close?
Yeah, most of my poem could be the ending could be the start of new series.
Got you.
But I never do it. It ends there. It captures a certain feelings and it ends there.
Great answer. Amadeus, do you have a question? Raised hand.
Actually, I do, and I'll be posting it in the chat box. Please wait for a moment. It's quite long, and it's for you.
Oh, man. Okay. You're going to make me show my sensitive side? Gotcha. For as he's typing this up and dropping it in chat, the open mic list for the people in the room, you can hit up one of the PGN texts on the back channel to make sure your name's on the list. I see it in chat, but I want to make sure we're not missing anyone. As I'm waiting for that question.
It's already there, CP.
Got you. Every poet needs to reflect sometimes. So my question is, if CP Mays became a separate entity and began to reflect who and what it was, then later looked at you and said, what makes you think you're worthy to carry my name and title? Because you created me. So the perception is not the same as yours as Charles Perry, my real name. How will you respond as Charles Perry? Okay. Frame that question back out for me, Amadeus. Like, give me a more concise version before I run off and answer it.
Just imagine if CP Mays became an entity, like this part of your life separates from you, and then one day it begins to ask you these questions. The reason I'm saying this because I did my part as Amadeus. So there's this poet, Amadeus began to ask me these questions like, what makes you think you're worthy to carry my name? Because you created me? So what? I mean, because you created me, that makes you worthy? The perception about me is not the same as yours because you and I are completely different. So I'm just wondering, you as another artist, how will you respond to your end?
Wow. Good question. If we play I've been writing poetry since like elementary school. It was my way out of awkwardness in the world that wanted to put me in a box. I think CP Mays is the core essence of who I am when all my armor is taken away, when I have nothing else to hide behind. I think CP Mays is me in my purest form. There's no need to hide. I can say what hurts. I can say what makes me smile. I can be emotional. I can be strong. I can be weak in the moment. The Charles Perry, I would just say, what makes you think like you're built to carry this name? Time is the only thing we can never give back. So Charles Perry, embrace CP Mays because that's been your way out of emotional turmoil since you started writing, right? Some of us, the poets in this room, the skeleton key that unlocked their poetic creativity was a loved one passing away. You know, like these entities we create within ourselves just to survive. Kudos, you're doing a good job. That's what I would tell my government name. And then I would say, please don't put my government name on the internet because I still owe student loans. That's probably what I would say. So yeah. Does that answer? Or yeah, okay, cool.
It's a good answer.
Okay, cool. Good question. Before we break off into the open mic, PGN Familia, is there anything you would like to say to the poets who came out, rocked out, and showed all their talents? Any of the PGN higher ups, anything you would like to say? Don't make me look at you, Mark. Going once, twice. From the bottom of my heart, the host of Bottoms Up Singapore edition, I want to say shout outs to the poets across the pond. Shout outs to the poets who could see American shores from across that pond. Shout outs to Egypt. Shout outs to Ireland. Shout outs to the States. We have the greatest job in the world, and that's just being an artist. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you for just being you. Give yourselves a round of applause. Shout outs to the crowd. Thank y'all for being here. I can't wait to see y'all next year, hopefully. Yay. Hello, world. Bottoms up. Yay. Awkward turtle. Did we go off live? Awkward turtle. Lacan,
Yes.
are we still live or are we off the grid to start the open mic?
You know what's funny? I don't know how to turn it off.
That's awesome. We can write a poem that can make a grown man cry, but we don't know how to click a tab or open up a link. That is so awesome. Thank you, Lacan. That's what you get for asking me that question in a kid's voice. Hey, Karen, take it easy. Yeah. Well, all right. I feel like I'm going to start the open mic. Do y'all want to record this section until we get offline and we erase all this talk I'm doing now, Lacan?
Your call. You're the purveyor, man.
Thank y'all for showing up, pouring up. I hope you had an awesome time. For the drinkers in the house, salute. For the people who drank coffee, I hope you can go to sleep later, take a break. Your life is awesome. When you wake up in the morning, look the person you see in the mirror and tell them, I'm not done fighting yet. I'm not done fighting yet. I will see y'all soon. We're about to start the open mic portion. Marianne Teff, that puts you on deck first. 5, 4, is this my good side? 3, 2, what's the Marvel Universe? 1, all right, cool. Welcome to Bottoms Up, Singapore's open mic. Yay! For the poets who can stick around from the panel, it's cool. If not, like, I know the time zone differences have it like really late where you are or it's stormy, so don't feel compelled. We would love it if you do. Marianne Teff, the person I'm about to bring up to start this open mic, she is a moon child to her core. She has this amazing way to capture the human spirit. Room, go wild, give it up for Marianne Teff. Hey, Marianne.
Thank you so much, CP. I'm really delighted to lead off the open mic today. What an absolutely wonderful show it has been. Personally, I have absolutely loved listening to all these different languages. Ever since I started to learn a bit of French in grade 3, way back when before the Dead Sea was sick, maybe even, I have loved putting on my big boots and splashing around in other languages. I am here today from Toronto, where I now live after a couple of decades on the Dutch Caribbean island of St. Maarten. And while I lived there, I was invited to participate in an anthology, a Dutch anthology that commemorated the anniversary of 160 years of emancipation in the Dutch Caribbean. And I had the pleasure of finding that poem was translated into Dutch, and I have read it on occasion. It's called Wedding Day. It's a story of a young girl, a slave, who was to be married. And today, with apologies in advance to any native speakers of Dutch, I will try it in Dutch to just carry on with the spirit of today's event. The poem Wedding Day is called Trouwdag. Ik verlang niet naar een witte jurk, kant vanuit een mooie webben voor spinnenhanden die ons in de koude dagen gaat, terwijl ze met de naald werkte. Die is gereserveerd voor Mistress Alice. Ik verlang niet naar een houden ring